Welcome back to the channel, Decoders. This is Decoding with Cody, and today is March 23rd, 2025, or 2026. Sorry, I'm going a year backwards. Anyways, this is a live stream. Thank you guys for being here. Please give me a thumbs up in the live stream chat if the sound is working, and then we can get into the info. Thank you, Coffee Girl. Once again, as always, you are the best, and I appreciate you. And hello to God's Freedom Warrior. Hello to you. You're talking about the plane crash last year in Toronto. Yeah, we'll make a little connection to that as well, because it probably is tied to that. But there's a lot of travel chaos going on right now. And this isn't going to only be about the plane crash today. We're going to talk about all the travel chaos throughout the world. We've got a supposed oil crisis. Are we about ready to be shut down again, just like 2020? What do you guys think in the chat? You guys think we're about ready to be shut down with a travel restriction again because of global energy resources? I don't know. Are we about to be iced? Right? About to be on ice again. So hello to everyone in the chat. I'll give a few minutes for people to file in here. Hello to Sarah Smith. Welcome. God bless you. Hello to Sojourn. What's up? Maggie McCombs. Hello, Maggie. Nice to see you. Morgan. What's up, brother Morgan? Nice to see you as well. Clayton is also in the house today. Hello, Clayton. Who else? Cable X is in the house. Hello to you as well. Let's see. Susan. What's up, Susan? Nice to see you. And Moonlin, hello. She agrees we are about to get iced. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. There's just the travel chaos in the world right now is legitimately crazy. I mean, you have energy crisis on the horizon, fuel prices, planes can't fly. Australia's on the verge of not having any fuel. Planes are crashing because there's no workers. There's no workers in most airports. So Trump had to send in ICE agents in order to, because of the partial government shutdown that's not paying the employees. So you guys have to understand that this is a world reset, okay? And I know most of you guys already know this, but remember, when COVID happened, it was part of a reset plan. And I think this is phase 2 of that plan. And these energy crises and also these plane crashes are making people not want to travel. First of all, being afraid to travel. And then second of all, not being able to travel. So they don't want us moving around. They want to ice us. We can't flow around the world anymore. What happens when water is frozen, right? Water is frozen and it doesn't move anymore. So the world is being shut down. It's being iced. It's being turned solid. So the flow of the energy, the flow is cut down, okay? This is what I believe the ICE agents are all about, okay? ICE 9, right? We've talked about this already before this year. So let me just kind of set the stage and then we'll get into the plane crash. But let me take myself off here and we're going to also talk about the 86ing. Remember last year when James Comey posted 8647 on the sand? And yeah, we're going to talk about that as well. We're going to talk about Iran because this is intimately connected with Iran, of course, because they're the ones shutting down the Strait of Hormuz. But let's just start with this. So ICE agents are arriving at airports across the country because the TSA agents are not getting paid. So therefore, they're not showing up to work. Therefore, there's no one to do security checks at the airports. And again, ICE is about stopping the flow of things, right? When I told you that ICE agents were stopping the flow of immigrants into the country, right? It's all about freezing of a liquid, stopping the flow. And right now, what's happening in airports? The flow is stopping. It's jammed up, right? It's iced. So isn't it a joke that ICE agents are now showing up at an airport that's now stuffed up? It's stuck, you know? I mean, imagine trying to run water through a pipeline that has ice in it. Don't you think it's not going to flow very well? And yes, this has to do with currencies. Currency, a flow of money. There's going to be a new world order, a new world currency. All right. So this doesn't only have to do with travel. This has to do with a new world currency. Banks are going to be frozen. Are they going to do a tax on banks soon, like freezing the banking system? I mean, that could be on the horizon as well. Is Iran going to do a cyber attack on the U.S. banking system? Are they going to cut internet lines? I don't know. But all I'm saying is this is all the same type of narrative. It's about freezing the flow, okay? And the same reason that ICE agents are showing up, right? And of course, this whole year started out with ICE. But we have the other element going on. We have the fire element. We talked about this is the year of the fire horse, okay? We have fire and ice both, right? We have all the ice stuff, but we have all the fire stuff. Again, we talked about the Heat, the other week, how the Miami Heat player was scoring the all-time second all-time most points in a game, right? And they had the fireball, right? And of course, Iran is burning ships in the Strait of Hormuz. And of course, when you get explosions, you get fire, okay? And you get all this other stuff. Well, we've also had really weird comets hitting the United States. We had one in Ohio that was a loud boom. Remember the one in Ohio just last week? And we just had one in Texas, a suspicious comet. And we don't even know if it's a comet. It kind of sounds, I mean, these comets started hitting right after the war started. I mean, I'm not saying it's missiles from Iran, but I'm just saying we have this fire element here, okay? And Miami is a big part of this. And this whole thing with Miami last week with the Bam Adebayo and all that stuff, it really reminds me of a fire and ice stuff. But let's just get into the kind of the gist of this. We had just a few days ago, we had the death of Chuck Norris. And I mentioned, do you guys raise your hand in the chat if you guys remember my video about Chuck Norris? My decode was about a plane crash. Do you guys remember that? Raise your hand in the chat if you guys remember that. When Chuck Norris died, people maybe thought I was crazy because you'd be like, Cody, why is Chuck Norris's death connected to a plane crash? There's been no plane crash. Well, guys, what happens 2 days later? There's the headline news this morning when I woke up was a plane crash. Not a normal type of plane crash, really, but still a plane collision. And remember, I told you I saw this happening because what was Chuck Norris's last movie? The movie that's going to be released after his death is called Zombie Plane. Okay, so upon seeing that his last movie was about a plane, I was like, are we about to see a plane incident? And guys, this is what we get when we look at predictive programming and we see that Chuck Norris's last movie was a plane movie. And now 2 days after his death was announced, you get a plane crash, right? I mean, so if you guys were watching my video a few days ago, if newbies were in there, they'd be like, why is this random guy, this crazy dude talking about a plane crash with Chuck Norris? This has nothing to do with a plane crash. That's because I think we're getting ready to see some more plane crashes. I think this is probably not the last one, okay? And Zombie Plane. Now, who is the guy on the front cover with Chuck Norris? Ice. Vanilla Ice. Are you coding me, folks? What did I just start this whole thing talking about? ICE agents are showing up at airports today, and we get a plane crash today. Well, technically, it was last night. But what's the odds that Chuck Norris's last movie was about a plane, and it's a guy with the guy in the front is Vanilla Ice? And not only did Vanilla Ice star in this movie, Ice-T was also in this movie. So there was two people in this movie with the word ice in their name, iced tea and vanilla ice. Is that a coincidence? No, not. Because again, Trump's ICE agents are showing up at airports, and Zombie Plane is the name of the movie, okay? So when we put all that together, we kind of get a story here, going back to this whole connection, which is what I made in the beginning of the video, right? Yeah, please hit those like buttons if you guys find this content informational or helpful or in any way helpful. But look at this. If you read the synopsis of this movie, the cameos in the 1990 soundtrack, Tracks by Ice. So again, this whole movie is connected to Vanilla Ice. And Vanilla Ice sang Ice Ice Baby earlier this year, okay? And again, what are the odds? And now the news is today that Australia, look at this, Australia fuel shortage. Hundreds of petrol stations across Australia running out of fuel. This is the headline news. So we have Ice Baby, we have a plane crash, and now we have Australia in the news. Well, in the movie Zombie Plane, you have Vanilla Ice, you have Chuck Norris, who just died, you have a plane crash, of course, and you have, when was this movie released? It was released in, where is it? I know there was an Australian connection to this. Hold on. At least I thought there was. Hold on. Look at this. Okay, here it is. An action film which is directed by Australian filmmakers. So now every story that's on the front page today is connected to this movie. Australian filmmakers make the movie called Zombie Plane, which directs us to the plane crash and the plane stuff. And ICE is in the movie, which the ICE agents are showing up at airports today. And Australia is in a fuel shortage. All in the same day, okay? So, with all that being said, let's talk about the plane crash from last night and how it connects to, well, first of all, Trump is the head of ICE. He's the one doing all the ICE stuff, right? So, but think about Canada, guys. When you think of Canada, you kind of think of cold, right? I mean, a lot of Canada is filled with ice. Another thing I think of is that Canada is still ruled by Charles III. He's still the monarch of Canada. And Charles III is also the monarch of Australia. So you have that connection with the royal family again. Charles, the monarch of Australia. Just to confirm that. Yeah, again, Australia's head of state is King of Australia, is His Majesty King Charles III. So King Charles III is the head of both Australia and Canada still, okay? So both countries involved in the news today, Canada's plane crash and Australia, both do connect back to King Charles, which I've been talking a lot about. But this decode is not just about King Charles. This is more about Trump and Iran. But let me just get through this part of the presentation first, and then we'll get to the other stuff. Trump was also on a plane today going to Graceland. And a shout out to Jurassic Liars. He was live talking about this, but how much have we been talking about grace lately? Did I not just do a whole decode last week about the grace? And now Trump goes to Graceland today? Are you coding me? I don't think we knew he was going to go to Graceland today. I didn't know that. But first of all, let's decode this plane crash, okay? When you think of Canada, you think of ice because most of Canada is very cold. I mean, a lot of Canada is filled with ice a lot of the year, okay? But Air Canada flight collides with a fire truck, okay? Do you guys get the gist here? Fire and ice again, okay? Fire truck. While landing at LaGuardia, both pilots are dead. So the pilots are dead, the leaders, right? When you're a pilot of a plane, you're the head of the plane. The head of the snake has been cut off. The pilots are the head of the snake. But check this out, guys. This flight was on the late evening hours of March 22nd, our good old Skull and Bones Day. And check this out. 322 is the 81st day of the year. So this plane crash happened at LaGuardia Airport on the 81st day of the year, and LaGuardia Airport equals 81. Not only does that equal 81, the word ritual, which equals 81 in both forward and backwards. So in two ciphers, the word ritual equals 81. Did we not just talk about the word 81 recently? Did we not just talk about 81? I think we did, because we talked about Horace and Crowley and the connection to Kobe Bryant, who scored 81 points, and how Bam Adebayo just surpassed him, okay? So, but check this out, guys. This happened between a fire truck, and it happened in New York. 111 is the 81st composite number, like this happened on the 81st day of the year. 111 is the gematria of fire truck and New York. So a fire truck in New York, which equals 111. Also, just so you guys can see this, if you type in Sumerian gematria, fire truck also equals 666. And so does New York, okay? So you have a 666 riddle here as well with the fire truck and New York. But the big one here is the 111, because, again, 111 is the 81st composite. Again, LaGuardia 81, LaGuardia Airport 81. This happened on the 81st day of the year. New York and fire truck both equal 111. But look at this, guys. We just had, actually, before I get to that, the flight number was 8646. Okay, so this immediately should make you think of something that happened last year with James Comey when he posted a photo of seashells on the beach, and it said 8647, okay? And then there was a whole conspiracy how James Comey was supposedly talking about 86ing, which means to get rid of, 47, which is Trump, right? 47th president. But check this out, guys. This plane, 8647 or 46, crashed on the 322 day on 322, right? When you measure 86 years and 46 weeks, when you measure this amount of time, it comes out to 86 years and 322 days. Do you see how perfect that is? Hopefully you guys get what I'm showing here. When you take the 8647 and you measure 86 years, 46 weeks, it also comes out to be 86 years, 322 days. Again, flight 8646 crashes on 322. Okay, how perfect. But guys, we just had someone get taken out who was 86 years and 46 weeks old. And who was it? Look at this, guys. So flight 8646 just crashes. Look how old the supreme leader of Iran was when they took him out. He was 86 years and the start of his 46 weeks life when they took him out. Are you coding me? So this just happened. I forgot to even mention that Chuck Norris just died at 86, right? So Khamenei just died at 86 and Chuck Norris just died at 86. And again, what do I mean by 86 and start of his 46th week? What does that mean? It means that he was 86 years and 45 weeks old exactly when he was killed on February 28th, which means he was beginning his 46th week of his 86th year, which means he was 8646, which means he is the plane 8646. Also, this is an Air Canada flight. Air Canada is a two-cipher match to Ali Khamenei. So that's interesting. Also, this flight was the pilots. The pilots were killed. He was essentially the leader or the pilot of Iran, right? You guys get what I'm saying here? the pilot, he's like the leader, like the pilot is the leader of the plane, right? So the two pilots are killed. Okay. And again, it was 21 days after he was 86th. 21 days. The speed of the plane, his last recorded speed was 21 knots. I thought that might be a coincidence, but I just thought that was interesting that the last speed that was registered was 21 knots. And this was 21 days after Khamenei was killed. But look at this, guys. The name of the airport where this plane crashed was LaGuardia. LaGuardia, they say it, but it literally means the guard. And if you know anything about Iran, the guard are the people who are responsible and to report to the supreme leader of Iran, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Oh my goodness. And look how old the Iranian Revolutionary Guard was on this plane crash. 46 years, 322 days old. Which means that their leader who just died was 86 years old. So do you guys get it? The guard, the LaGuardia, the guard is 46 years old, and the leader who just got 86th was 86 years old. There's your 86, 46, right in the two ages of these two entities. I mean, are you coding me, guys? And not only was the guard 46 and him 86, the airport itself was 86 years old. Are you coding me? LaGuardia was 86 years and 111 days old. So that means, and look at this, the official motto of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard is derived from the Quran, sections 860. Are you kidding me? I mean, what in the world? Okay, this is a perfect riddle, guys. This has every element. It has the guard connection, the LaGuardia. It has the 86. It has the airport was 80, or the airport was 86, right? Again, and you're telling me that the Iranian Guard gets their motto from Quran 860, which is 86 again? I mean, just ridiculous. Not to mention the Iranian Guard was 46 years and 322 days old on 322 when 8646 crashed. I mean, not a coincidence. So check this out. Now, if you guys doubted that this is connected, if you guys still have doubted this, look how many days. Well, first of all, guess what 8646 is? It's a prime number. 8646 is the 136th triangular number, or sorry, 131st triangular number. Guys, the plane company that crashed today connected with Khamenei was founded 739 days exactly before he was born. 739 is the 131st prime number. Are you coding me? So the number of the plane is the 131st triangular number, and Air Canada was founded 739 days before he was born, which is the 131st prime number. And he was the Grand Ayatollah, which equals 131. I mean, this right here made me know this was absolutely perfect. This is absolutely perfect, folks. This tells you that this crash is a complete matrix riddle connected. Yeah, and 131 is the 32nd prime number, and 32 is ice, guys. Water becomes ice at 32 degrees, and the word crash does equal 32. Thank you, Migu, in the chat. Make sure you guys subscribe to Gematria Book on YouTube, also otherwise known as Migu196 in the chat. But again, considering everything I just showed you here, you're telling me that this is the amount of days between Air Canada and the Grand Ayatollah, the 131 prime, which is the flight number, breaks down to 131. I mean, and again, 131 is, again, the 32nd prime, which, again, is ice. I just said that. So, but water also equals 32. So The word crash equals 32. The word water equals 32. Trump was visiting Graceland today, which is where Elvis was living. That equals 32. Once again, shout out to Garo for all his Elvis research. Trump was visiting Graceland today, right? We'll talk about that in a little bit. But also, this is all about the reset, guys. The reset, which is also 32. Okay? Reset, 32. Also, so does Christ. Christ equals 32. And again, I'm talking about 32 because 131 is the 32nd prime number. And again, this is where this breaks down to. All right, so let's keep going. Let's talk about the 111s. So LaGuardia was 86 years, 111 days old. The full name of the former supreme leader of Iran, was Ali Hosseini Khamenei, which equals 111, okay, in reverse reduction. Again, I told you it hit a fire truck, which equals 111. This happened in New York. It's a huge number with New York. New York equals 111, okay? So what a coincidence. This happened 111 days after LaGuardia was founded, and it happened in New York, right, with a fire truck. But check this out. I already showed you how Khamenei was born perfectly between Air Canada, but what if we measure between Khamenei and the LaGuardia Airport? Look at this. From Khamenei's birth to the founding of LaGuardia Airport was 32 weeks and 3 days. That's the gematria of LaGuardia. 323. And most of this news was breaking, and this crash happened in Iran on 323, the date written 323. Also, in the last video about plane crashes and Chuck Norris, we talked about how it was all about the fall of Lucifer. Lucifer equals 323. So does Catholicism, all in the same cipher. Okay? Catholicism 323. So what are the odds that Khamenei was born 32 weeks and 3 days before LaGuardia was founded, which is 323? And again, this flight crashed in Iran on 323. Okay? So again, once again, another perfect alignment. But here's the gist of it, guys. Now, how does this lead us to the American leaders, right? President Trump. Remember, last year, James Comey posted 8647 on the seashore, right? The water again. And there was a controversy. Let me just read this. The term gained massive public attention in May of 2025 following a controversial Instagram post by FBI Director James Comey, which featured seashells arranged in the form of the number 8647. 86 is a slang term derived from the restaurant and service industry to get rid of or remove or eject. And 47 is a reference to the 47th president, Donald Trump. Oh, good connection. Skeptical says King Charles equals 323 in standard. Again, King Charles is the monarch of Canada. Good one. So King Charles has that 323 in standard. And Joseph Biden, who we're going to talk about, Joseph Biden, or what is it? Is it Joe Biden? Whoops, sorry, Joseph. I had Joseph Charles in there. Joseph Biden. So Joseph Biden has the 323 as well. So great addition. And why are we going to talk about Joe Biden? Because this seems to be a riddle for Joe Biden. Why? Because look at this. From the day that Comey posted 8647 on the beach to the airplane crash of 8646, which is Joe Biden. Why is 8646 Joe Biden? Because, again, when he posted this, he was posting 8647 Trump, 47. But Biden was the 46th president, right? So when you're talking about 8646, you're talking about Joe Biden. But look at this. It was exactly 44 weeks and 3 days from the post to the LaGuardia flight crash. LaGuardia equals 443. But what's even more crazy is 443 is the 86 prime number. So from the day he posted that, it was 44 weeks and 3 days, the 86th prime number, 8646. And what's crazy about this is this was no ordinary day for Joe Biden. This was Joe Biden's Mercury birthday, folks. How many times have we talked about Mercury birthdays on this channel? What is a Mercury birthday? It just means the amount of time it takes for Mercury to make a year. Joe Biden turned exactly 346 Mercury birthdays old on the date of this crash, guys. And you're telling me that the flight is called 8646? But what's the gematria of Mercury? 86. And what is Mercury? Mercury is the god of transportation and trickery. So Mercury is the god of an airplane crash, essentially, because Mercury is the 86 and it's the transportation. 8646 is Joe Biden. You're telling me that Joe Biden had a Mercury birthday this day on top of all this? And in my last decode, I talked about Mercury. I talked about we talked about how Mercury is connected to Trump. You guys remember when I showed you how Flight 302 crashed on Trump's 302nd Mercury birthday? Let me just find this. Right here, guys, this is my slide from a few days ago. Trump was 302 Mercury years old exactly on the day of Flight 320 being crashed, right? 302. This is your 32 again. Right? But what are the odds of that? He was 302 Mercury years on Flight 302, right? Crashing. And then we talked about how this connected, how that was on the birthday of Chuck Norris, who was just in Zombie Plane. Right? And Flight 302 crashed on Trump's 302nd Mercury birthday on Chuck Norris's birthday. And March 10th can be written 103. Well, what's Mercury in gematria? Mercury equals 103. So like the date of Chuck Norris's birth and the day of Flight 302 crashing, okay? So there's your date. And again, this is Bad Bunny's birthday. This is the day that the basketball thing happened last, So again, you have the 86 and you have the 103. And guys, I mean, Chuck Norris turned 86 years old on 103 on 10/3 this year. Okay, so it was his Mercury birthday. It was a huge Mercury day for him because he turned 86 on that date, right? So we got one more slide, guys. So now that we know that Joe Biden is the 8646, and James Comey posted this 44 weeks and 3 days before this crash, which is the 86 prime number, and LaGuardia equals 443. Look at this, guys. From the day of James Comey posting this to the plane crash was 3 Mercury years and 46 days. Well, not only that, the Air Canada was 88 years and 346 days old on this crash. And again, how old was Joe Biden? Joe Biden was 346 Mercury year olds exactly. Are you coding me? So the airport or the airline was 346 days after its birthday. The post of 8647 was 3 years, Mercury years, and 46 days. And Joe Biden was 346 Mercury birthday. How perfect is that? I think there's even something more to this 346. But I can't quite figure out maybe any more yet about how this 346 has to be more important than just this. But this is a huge part of it. Again, it's so perfect, okay? So is Joe Biden about ready to kick the bucket soon? And why does this connect perfectly to Joe Biden and Trump, right? 86-46. Do you remember how I told you this happened on the 81st day of the year at LaGuardia Airport, which equals 81, like ritual? Well, you guys remember when Joe Biden got 81 million votes? 81 million votes. Yeah, Biden received more than 81 million votes when he won against Trump. Well, why is that? Because in gematria, let's just keep it simple here. Look at what President Biden equals. President Biden sums to 81. Okay? Again, he got 81 million votes. This airplane crash, 8646, happened on the 81st day of the year. But not only does President Biden equal 81, President Trump equals 81. And he beat Trump with 81 million votes in 2020. But remember, back in 2020, it was during the other lockdowns. Are we about ready to have a travel lockdown? Again, zombie plane, ICE agents, the flow of traffic is being stopped up with the ice, right? The water's not flowing anymore. The zombies are kind of slow, right? They're dumb people, right? Zombies are just like completely brainless and they're slow. So they might be also looked at as kind of clogging up the, actually, if you guys ever watch like The Walking Dead, and think about it, Chuck Norris played Walker. You guys know what the series is called The Walking Dead, where they have walkers? So lots of zombie symbolism going on here. But of course, we already live in a world of zombies. Like most of the people in our world are zombies. They don't have much of a brain left, a lot of these people. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure this connects to Robert Mueller, who just died. I didn't do a decode on him, guys, actually. But we just had these Robert Mueller. And wasn't he the FBI too? Yeah, so Robert Mueller just died. And again, Robert Mueller was part of the FBI as well, just like James Comey. So, I mean, I need to look more into this. Guys, his birthday is August 7th. August 7th is a huge day, connected with the 13th, the 136 eclipse code, which I'm not going to get into that here, but I do find it interesting his birthday is August 7th. But yeah, I didn't look into this guy. His middle name is Swan. And the one thing I want to say about that is that connects to a black swan, which is an unexpected event. And I want you guys to see what black swan equals in gematria. I mean, is it a coincidence that black swan equals 86? We've been talking a lot about the 86 here. The guy's middle name was Swan, which is a black swan, which is an unexpected event, okay? And again, think about the collision with the fire truck, kind of an unexpected event. So, yeah, black swan, 86. So these 86-year-olds getting taken out of this, is this predicting a black swan to come? But yeah, I mean, this is really crazy. And, so do you guys remember, let's just talk really quickly about this. Do you guys remember the Delta flight that flipped over the Toronto? We're talking about Canada again. Well, remember on February 17, 2025, a flight flipped over and it was because of ice. You guys remember this? So now here we are with ice at the airports and another plane crash connected with Canada. And how many days from this crash? And it was the same plane, guys. Look at this. It was a Bombardier CRJ-900. That was the one in February 17, 2025. But if you look at the plane for this one, it was a Bombardier CRJ-900. So that means both of these planes that crashed recently in the last 2 years, connected to Canada, they both were the same type of plane, a Bombardier CRJ-900. Okay, but look how many days is in between these two crashes. 398 days between the Toronto plane flipping upside down and the Air Canada plane crashing into the fire truck. What's 398, guys? Hold on to your hats here. Oh, look at that. Airplane crash sums to 398. Between the airplane crash, the flipping upside down of the Toronto plane to yesterday's plane crash, 398 days. Again, that is the gematria of airplane crash. I mean, what are the odds? And again, this is ice. Remember, this plane was all covered in ice. The plane that crashed with the helicopter in 2025 was also a bombardier. Okay, well, think about it, guys. Bombardier, doesn't that also connect it with Iran? Didn't we just bomb Iran? Dr. Savage is in the house. What's up, Dr. Savage? Due to shallow waters, yeah. There's a threat that Iran might cut off the internet. Iran reportedly threatening to cut the Red Sea internet cables. Now, I don't know if it's true that it carries 95% of the global internet traffic. I mean, but even if it's just 30%, that can do a huge whopping effect on the internet. So we're about ready to get that internet blackout. We're about ready to get a blackout in general. Swift relies on those cables, Dr. Savage says. Interesting. 30%. Yeah, I think it's like 30% of the internet. So, and Trump also, guys, Trump gave 48 hours 2 days ago now. Trump, 48 hours to Iran. Trump says Iran has one more chance at peace talks. Oh, this is day 23 of the conflict, too. Trump says Iran must open Hormuz in 48 hours before he's going to bomb the heck out of them. Or he's going to bomb the heck out of their energy stations or something like that, power plants. So, guys, a lot of power outage stuff going on here. The Swift cables, like internet outage, banking stuff. Black Swan connects with markets. Remember, in iPet Goat, there's ice at the end of iPet Goat. And right after there's the attack, in the boy's eyes, you see markets plunge. Are markets about ready to plunge from a war? I don't know, but things are heating up, guys. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm in Albania, and supposedly Albania doesn't have a lot of oil left, so hopefully I don't get stuck here. I can't go back to Germany for at least until June, so guys, please pray for me, and hopefully everything goes well here in where I'm at, because if there's an oil shortage in Albania where I am, I don't know what will happen necessarily. So, but right now I'm kind of stuck here for now. I have already booked places and I can't afford to waste money. So I just kind of have to pray that God will take care of me. So yeah, just everyone take care out there, and make sure you stock up on a little bit of stuff. And don't worry, guys, I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but I just read that there's some protests in Albania because they get their oil from Saudi Arabia or something like that. So I don't know. I just don't want to be stuck here necessarily, but we'll see. We will see. Anyway, what else did I want to talk about here? Oh, let's talk about how Trump was at Graceland today. So I just did a decode. Again, all my decodes seem to be kind of getting connections here recently. I just did a decode the other day about this. I just did a decode, and I talked about how the Strait of Hormuz is connected to the movie March 20th, the day Chuck Norris was in the news as being dead. Thank you, everyone, for the thoughts and prayers. I really appreciate you all. You guys know I love you, so you guys are great, and I appreciate all your thoughts. But remember, I talked about Grace, the movie that just came out called Hail Mary. It features Ryan Gosling as Ryland Grace, which has Graceland in it, right? Graceland is literally in the name of the character in the movie. And now Trump shows up to Graceland. And again, shout out to Jurassic Liars, who was live and clued me into this. But Trump shows up to Graceland and he's talking about how Elvis is the most famous person in the world. And again, Jurassic Liars has been well ahead of the curve for years. And now all these things are coming into fruition. But I mean, again, it's just crazy. I just talked about Ryland Grace from the movie, and now Graceland. And you know what also happened on March 20th? A band called 3 Days Grace released an album called Transit of Venus. And this one got me, guys, because let me just go to their X account. Hold on. 3 Days Grace X. So 3 Days Grace has a really crazy connection going on right here, and it connects to XRP, the currency that I think will also be part of this reset, because I think we're getting closer and closer. But check this out. They posted this on March 20th. Transit of Venus, a vinyl, is available now for the first time ever, March 20th. On the same day that they released the movie Project Hail Mary, which features Ryland Grace, 3 Days Grace. Now, if we look into the show, and you look into this album called Transit of Venus, which again is Lucifer and a lot of connections to Lucifer. So why are they re-releasing this album on March 20th all of a sudden? This album came out in 2012. Again, the reason I'm talking about this is because this all connects to the grace theme that's going on right now. But look at this. On June 5th, 2012, the same day as Venus transit. So this was a huge event, guys. The Venus transit of 2012. You see how Venus got in front of the sun and it made it look like a black dot? You see this? This was on June 5th, 2012. Guys, guess what happened on June 5th, 2012? What was founded on June 5th, 2012? Turning Point USA was founded on the exact day of the Venus transit. You see this? The same day, June 5th, 2012. What are the odds that this company that is now clearly involved with all this because of Charlie Kirk was founded on the day of this Venus transit? Now, not only that, this is the birthday of the Super Bowl winning quarterback from the Seahawks, Sam Darnold. And remember, Venus is the feminine kind of connection. And who's the new leader of Turning Point USA? It's a woman, or so we say, supposedly a woman, right? She's Venus. And remember, when Charlie Kirk founded Turning Point USA on a Venus transit, he was 18 years old. What does Venus equal? Venus equals 18. Charlie Kirk founded Turning Point USA at 18 years old. Now look at this, Dr. Savage, you're going to love this. When was XRP, the cryptocurrency, founded? XRP start date. XRP was officially launched on June 2nd, 2012. Guys, what's the name of the band that just released an album which was based off of June 5th, 2012? How many days was June 5th, 2012 after the start date of XRP? Tell me, how many days? Do you guys get the riddle here? This is mind-blowing to me. 3 days. 3 Days Grace. 3 Days Grace announced their album on the Venus transit 3 days after XRP was first transacted. You guys get it? Transaction, transit, transition to a new system. A transition from ice to water, right? What is ice? It's a transition. Now check out the band's second album. Look what it's called. It's called 1X. This band, I just connected this to XRP with the 3 Days Grace. Their other album is called 1X, like XRP. Well, look at the 1X here. What does 1X equal in gematria? Look at this. This is ridiculous. 1X equals XRP. Do you guys see it? It's a super match. 1X, the name of that album, equals XRP in 3 out of 4 ciphers. Are you coding me? Three days grace. You have a 3-day grace period, okay? From XRP's founding date to the Venus transit. Now, I think I have some more notes on this. While I'm at it, let me hit some of my notes real fast. So let me just read this. So the 3 Days Grace Transit of Venus, the band announced their 4th studio album, Transit of Venus, on June 5th, 2012. This coincided with the actual astronomical event. So not only was XRP founded 3 days before the Venus transit, how many days was it from XRP's lawsuit ending on August 7th, 2025, to the announcement of their vinyl record, Transit of Venus? Remember, I told you 3 Days Grace released their vinyl record of the same album on March 20th. How many days is in between the XRP lawsuit ending and this March 20th? Look, it's 225 days. And what is 225 days, guys? It's 1 Venus year, exactly. 1 Venus year. So when they released their new album, when they re-released this album on vinyl, it was exactly 1 Venus year after the most important day in XRP's history, the day that their whole lawsuit was ended. Exactly 1. And again, they were founded 3 days before the 3 Days Grace Venus transit. And again, Venus connects to Lucifer. We've been talking about Lucifer also, right? And also another point to make here is that one of the band members is named Brad. If you look at the band, let me bring up their actual page here. Notice how this album came out on June 13th. So that's the 136 date I've been talking about. But look at one of their musicians on 3 Days Grace is Brad Walst. Well, it is interesting that the CEO of Ripple is Brad Garlinghouse. And remember how Brad Garlinghouse was all coded in with the death of the Brad Kirk Arnold? Yeah, people in the chat are talking about Brad Arnold from Kryptonite or from 3 Doors Down. Yeah, 3 Doors Down, guys. 3 Doors Down. I made a whole video back when Brad Arnold died about the 3 Doors Down. And now we have a band called 3 Doors Grace, which is also connected. And again, to XRP. So, I mean, and they're both rock bands, right? And look at their original name. They weren't originally known as 3 Days Grace. They were known as Groundswell. Well, what's Ripple's event called? Ripple Swell. Ripple does an event called Ripple Swell. The original name of the band Three Doors Grace was Groundswell. So another coincidence, maybe? I don't know. Look at this. Their last swell was in New York City, enabling the Internet of Value. What's that equal? Enabling the Internet of Value. Let's just see what Internet of Value equals. Internet of Value, Turning Point USA. So notice how Turning Point USA, I just told you that Turning Point USA was founded 3 days after Ripple, after XRP, and 3 days Grace, right? Well, Turning Point USA has the same 2 gematria as Internet of Value. That's interesting. Turning point, right? Like turning of the equinoxes. This happened on the equinox. Anyway, I didn't want to get completely off track here, but I kind of wanted to get through all the research that I've been doing, the Graceland stuff, with all I've been talking about. But just how wild it was, guys. In case anyone's just getting into the stream, we talked about how this plane crash was clearly connected to the Iranian supreme leader, who was 86 years old when he died. In fact, he was 86 years and 46 weeks old. The start of his 46 week flight 8646 crashed 21 days after that. And again, his Revolutionary Guard that served him while he was alive was 46 years and 322 days old on the LaGuardia clash, which means the guard. So in the airport itself, LaGuardia was 86 years old as well. And again, if we're going to be talking about 86, we might as well talk about this Ripple again, because look at this, Ripple. Look at this, Ripple, 86 and 32. 2 numbers I talked about the whole stream. Ripple, 86, 32. So even that has the 86. But again, Mercury, 86. Khamenei was born 739 days after Air Canada was founded, which is the 131st prime. The plane flight 8646 is the 131st triangular number. 131 is the 32nd prime, which is, again, Ripple, water, reset. The 111s, 111 days after LaGuardia was founded. Khamenei's full name, 111. Fire truck, 111. New York, 111. He was born 32 weeks and 3 days before LaGuardia was founded. LaGuardia equals 323. The flight crashed in Iran on the date 323. And again, James Comey posted 8647, 44 weeks and 3 days before 8646 crashed. 443 is the 86 prime. Joe Biden is 8647. He was Mercury birthday that day, which Mercury equals 86. It was his 346 Mercury birthday, 346 days after Air Canada's birthday, and 3 years and 46 Mercury after the post. Anyway, that's just a quick recap. If you guys missed the rest, go back and watch. But I think we're going to start wrapping it up here. What else you guys got in the chat? Let me know. Let me know if you guys see anything that I might have missed. Does meteor equal Ripple? We've been getting a lot of meteors recently. Oh, wow. Meteor equals Ripple. What the heck? It's like almost a perfect match. Interesting. I never knew that. So we've been having all these meteors. We had one of Ohio, we had one in Texas, we had one in Mississippi or Louisiana. The Ohio meteor was on the 76th day of the year, yep. Yeah, LaGuardia means guardian. I already talked about that because we connected it to the Iranian National Guard or the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Might be connected to the National Guard of the United States too, actually. But yeah. let's keep looking at some comments in the chat here. Dr. Savage, what's up, man? Shout out to Dr. Savage, as always. We are in the process of the biggest wealth transfer ever. Yeah, I mean, that's what ultimately happens during these biggest moments in history. There's a wealth transfer, you know, and that's definitely part of what's going on here. This is a reset. Crypto in Latin means hidden, yes, or secret. Yes, it does. Yeah, I talked about Chuck Norris. He also died at 86 years old. Again, I probably didn't hit that enough, but Chuck Norris did die at 86. Let me see if I have anything in my notes on Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, let's see. Oh, Air Canada was founded 7,777 days before King Charles became the Prince of Wales. And this year, Charles, on his son's birthday, will be 77 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. So there's something going on here with the 7777. Oh, LaGuardia equals 38. And Chuck Norris was born 3 months and 8 days before LaGuardia opened. Okay, so LaGuardia, again, equals 38. Chuck Norris, who just died right before this, he was born 3 months and 8 days before LaGuardia opened. Ali Khamenei was 227 days before LaGuardia opened, which is pi. Derek talked about pi in our other decode before. 22 divided by 7. That's also the day that Ozzy Osbourne died. Did I miss something? Somebody says Chuck Norris and Tim Allen are the same person. That's interesting. Shout out to Skeptical in the chat. Haven't seen you. I mean, I think I've seen you in the chats recently, but nice to see you in the chat. It's another decoder, Wes Skeptical. You guys should go subscribe to his channel as well. It's spelled just like this, Skeptical. He says 7 equals 70, and the 7th pentagonal number is 7. So 70. So yeah, lots of 7s all tied together. Yeah, Wes is a great decoder. Make sure you guys go check him out. Let's see. You guys, there's probably more with this Chuck Norris thing, with this crash as well. I didn't find anything yet, but look at this, guys. Air Canada was founded 21 years, 3 months, 16 days before Charles became the Prince of Wales, which equals 146, and 21316 is the 146 square number. So we definitely have a King Charles riddle here again, like normal. Khamenei was born 11 lunar phases in 1 day before Chuck Norris, like all the 111s. Norris was 1 Mercury year and 11 days old after he was born. 1 Mercury year, 11 days after LaGuardia was founded. So another 111. Also, the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, on the day of the crash, he was in office for 1 year, 1 week, and 1 day. So another 111. The word collide. The word collide equals 111. And again, we talked about all the 111s. So I'm just going over my notes. I think that's it, though. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, yeah, I forgot to talk about the future, guys. Remember, Chuck Norris will be turning 86 years. I forgot to look at this because we just had the death of Chuck Norris, right? So when is Chuck Norris going to turn 86 years and 46 days old? Well, if you look, Chuck Norris will be 86, 46. So this is the day to watch, guys. April 25th will be 86 years, 46 days after Chuck Norris was born. So if this is connected with the flight 8646 and Joe Biden, I mean, do we get Joe Biden going down on this day, April 25th? Or it could also be 8647 days on the 26th of April, which is the 1-year anniversary of Pope Francis's funeral. So I'm just looking into the future because I'm like, this has to mean something, guys. This has to mean something. 8647 is if, yeah, interesting. JB dies, you have 4 days left, yeah. I remember that XRP riddle about JB dying. But anyway, guys, this is a day to watch because it's 86 years, 47 days after the birth of Chuck Norris. So there's probably more of a riddle here. Also, I believe when LaGuardia LaGuardia actually, this is really interesting. Look at, okay, so you guys remember how when Khamenei was killed, he was 86 weeks, 45 weeks old, which means he was, wow. So we need to be watching for October 13th. October 13th is 86, 45 weeks after LaGuardia was founded. That's the same age that Khamenei was when he was taken out. Or if we're going to go 86, if we're going to go 86 years and 46 weeks, we need to be looking at the date October 20th. Wow, guys, this is Kamala Harris's birthday, and October 13th is her husband's birthday. So it might be something with Kamala Harris here. Well, that connects to Joe Biden, doesn't it? I mean, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But yeah, this is a date to watch, guys. October 20th, 86 years, 46 weeks after LaGuardia was founded. I mean, that would be a prime day to see something happen connected to this. October 20th or October 13th if you're going for the 45. But, you know, it's just interesting. Like, I believe there's definitely something to this. Absolutely. So if you guys find anything, let me know. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for all your comments. I'm a bit tired, so I'm going to wrap this up. And if you guys have any additional info, don't forget to drop that in the comments. And I try to make sure I read all of your comments. Yeah, okay. Anyway, make sure you hit those likes on the way out. I thank you guys so much. And buy me a coffee links at the top as usual. And make sure you guys go hit the likes on all the other great channels. Go give a like to Dr. Savage, Wes Skeptical in the chat, Migu in the chat. Make sure you hit Gematrinator. Go over to his channel. All the great channels. Make sure you guys go give them support as well. The Illusion. And until next time, guys, have a great rest of your day. God bless you all. We'll see you later.